Baseball, a game where you throw a round circular baseball at someone holding a wooden stick and they have to hit said baseball. Simple, right? Heh. Wrong. Major League Baseball for years has kept various statistics, but most people have no idea what batting average is, earned run average, slugging percentage, etc. Today I am here to inform you not only how these statistics work, where you may see these discussions occur, and even how sabermetrics have advanced the development of the game as a whole. And by the next time you sit down to watch Mike Trout or Mookie Betts step into the batter's box, and you see that stat board pop up next to his game, you'll say, "Hey, I know what that means." First up, let's dive into some of the more simple statistics of baseball. Let's talk about batting average because it's the most simple to understand and is probably the most shown statistic on broadcasts. Batting average, to put it simply, is asking the question, how often does this player get a hit? For example, take Bryce Harper. His batting average is .293, which means he gets a hit about 29% of the time if you look at this pie chart here. In this day and age, a .293 batting average is among the upper echelon of the league. On-base percentage simply asks how often X player might get on base. You might ask, how is getting on base different than getting a hit? Well, on-base percentage factors in hits too, but it also factors in walks, where the batter gets a free base, as well as every time the batter gets hit by a pitch. Now that we've talked about hitters for a bit, let's talk about the pitchers. What is earned run average? The earned run average category simply explains how many runs a pitcher allows on average every full 9-inning game. We call it an average because the pitcher won't pitch all 9 innings every game, so we have to even it out as if they did pitch all 9 innings. If a pitcher goes 6 innings and gives up 2 runs, he would have an ERA of 3 because the ratio states the pitcher gives up a run every 3 innings. Now let's dive into some of the more advanced statistics, so you'll really need to pay attention. When we start talking about OPS plus and ERA plus, you might be intimidated by that nasty plus symbol and say, what could that possibly mean? Well, it's actually pretty simple. We talked briefly about on-base percentage and what it calculates. OPS stands for on-base plus slugging. The S part of OPS stands for slugging, which stands for the rate of total bases a batter gets, favoring home runs, doubles, etc. All that little plus symbol does over there is it puts every player in Major League Baseball on a scale, with the center of it being 100 being the most league average player. So if we look at Julio Rodriguez, his OPS plus rating is 135, which if you take into account the league average, means he's about 35% better than the most average hitter in the league. Now if we take Nick Allen from the Oakland A's, his OPS plus is 53, so by that standard, he is well below the league average hitter. And ERA plus is the same concept. Every pitcher is on scale based on ERA. So if a pitcher's ERA plus is 123 versus 67, now you know who the better pitcher is. Now, why do we need these advanced statistics, or sabermetrics as the fancy people call them? Well, the advanced statistics take into account how the league has changed from the 1950s and 1960s to the current day and age. For example, Bob Gibson, a 2-time Cy Young Award winner in the year 1967, had an earned run average of .298. Compare him to Logan Webb of the San Francisco Giants, who has an ERA this year of .335. It's obvious who the better pitcher was, right? Well, not really. Pitchers were generally way more dominant in the Bob Gibson era of 1960 than they are today. So if we compare the ERA plus of Gibson and Webb, we can see that Bob Gibson's ERA that year was 110, while Logan Webb's ERA plus was 127. So the average ERA, or the average on-base percentage, is always changing. That little plus sign gives us a better understanding of how a player is performing in comparison to the rest of the league. You'll see some of these discussions on social media websites like Twitter. Just look for a post regarding a player's stats and watch the comments eat him alive. Educate said person about their opinion. A random Reddit user asked the statistics community about which data are useful for them and good to know. From the comments, I saw 2 comments talking about fielding independent pitching, which essentially takes the outcomes from walks, strikeouts, and home runs, eliminating any ball in play, which considers quote-unquote luck in pitchers. Another comment talks about WAR, or wins above replacement, which means how valuable a player is in comparison to their replacement or league average player. So whenever your nerdy friend is telling you how good a player is because their OPS plus is 10 points higher than another player, hopefully you understand now a little bit how these stats work. Thank you all for watching today. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll watch some baseball.